Hello everyone and welcome to episode 2 of the RimWorld playthrough where Blue is gonna wake up and go hunting. Cue the music. This posed many questions. One, why is Blue so bad at hunting? And two, why did I think we could kill a turtle? Anyway, this made me come to the realization that we are going to need to specialize in melee. If you didn't notice during that montage, we did find an ancient danger, so that's going to be something we're going to need later game, but right now we don't need to focus on it at all. I decided the best course of action is to build Blue's hut. He needs to have his base finished if he wants to keep surviving and have a structure that will be able to support him and keep him a little bit warmer and put a roof above his head so his items don't deteriorate. After putting a fuel in the fire, we're gonna go hunting again and hope for some better luck this time. I've come across some better strategy, however. The idea that we need to draft him to get up close and personal with the animal, and this will sort of give us a better odds of actually hitting our shot with our super low shooting skill. And as you can see, it actually works quite well. After Blue misses a couple shots, he will actually get a squirrel. This squirrel will become a nice little meal that Blue is able to eat as he prioritizes hauling it back home to be butchered. I realize we don't have a table and chair, which gives Blue a debuff if he doesn't eat at a table or chair. And we also get wood very, very slowly because our plant stack just isn't very high. Blue has good stats, but he doesn't have fantastic stats, and he's prioritized in things that are more needed later game, not needed entirely at the beginning. His social stat will help him trade, his intelligence will help him research, but nothing is really helping him live right away. The hare that we killed during the montage, or shot during the montage, actually has wandered back in and died, which gives us an interesting boost in food amount. I'm now trying to figure out why the roof isn't on top of the structure. This is something I don't figure out for a very long time, probably later in this video, I'm not sure. But it takes a very, very long time to actually figure out why the roof is broken. Now, while we're butchering this hare, we now have a little bit of food, not an extensive surplus, but a small amount. This is going to provide a couple of meals, nutrients that is needed to keep going. I haul the leather inside because I assume we're going to need to make clothes out of that. To start off day 3, Blue goes and tries to get some wood, but the goal of today will quickly shift into getting more food. A common trend as food is the number one thing Blue needs, and it's the number one thing Blue does not have an easy way of getting. So basically, at these early stages of the game, our goal is to just hunt and try to get as much resources as we can to build our base. We can't really do much else. Blue is a single man in a world of savagery and hate. He is not very safe, and a raid at this point really could ruin the entire save. Our hunting does not go as well as you might hope, so I do the draft strategy to get him really close, and he gets another squirrel. This strategy seems to work a lot better than shooting from range, mostly due to the fact that Blue doesn't really have much of a shooting stat. He's not good at shooting, he's okay at melee, and he has a passion for melee, not a passion for shooting. He goes to bed, and now it's day 4. So Blue goes and eats his squirrel raw, which at the time I thought was really bad, but I realized due to the fact that he's acidic, it doesn't actually affect him at all because he can eat raw food, which I thought just meant butchered food, but apparently it means all raw food. Now I start building the house. I can't figure out why the roof's not working at this point, so I decide the best bet is to just make a solid rectangle and go from there. This also will give us more internal size when I start to deconstruct the walls on the inside, which will give more room for storage. Because as of right now, we just need one room. It's not good, but due to Blue being acidic, he doesn't mind it very much. I also decided at this point we need some recreation. So I decided to put it also inside the house just to keep everything kind of condensed and in a central location, due to the fact that travel time is wasted time and we don't have much time to waste. So it's at this point that we really are just working on constructing, hauling, and getting resources to get the house finished, get the roof finished, and to try to build ourselves a foothold in this new and exciting world. A world we did not expect to get crashed into, but a world that we now have to learn to survive in. Blue is adapting what seems like quite well for day 4, but at this point we are still very weak and very prone to anything bad happening, ending our save entirely. This is where I start prioritizing deconstruction. This is important because his construction skill does need to go up, and then he starts to wander away to go hunting, which I then draft him and prioritize, but today it doesn't go as well as it has the other few days. Then I decide meleeing the squirrel. Let's just beat that boy down and see what happens. Unfortunately, Blue actually gets hit. And I kind of freak out because I don't exactly know how to react to this situation. We have medicine, and I can't seem to figure out why he won't use it. This goes on for a very long time until I realize that he can't use it because he's not allowed to self heal. Something I figured would be already activated or he could already do, considering the fact that there is no one else with him. I eventually turn it on, draft him and undraft him to get him to wake up, and prioritize his tending so that he will heal himself. Day 5 will begin with crafting a club. We need to be able to beat down the animals and not get ourselves beaten by them. Something that is important due to the nature of our hunting not being so successful. This also means the only way we can hunt is by drafting Blue, as he can't actually hunt without a ranged weapon, an interesting feature of the game, but it does kind of make sense. It's at this point that I make the same silly mistake again, attacking the only animal on the map with armor. I decide to go beat down the turtle. I don't know why the turtle's a constant target of mine, but he just seems to be. And then he pecks at me, and I realize we didn't do anything to him, so I back off. We need to go hunt something, though. We need food, so I decide to look for the next nearby animal, which is this hare over here. And I give him the beatdown, which stuns him, and then another hit, and then another hit, making my melee level go up, and finally we take him down. He never actually got a hit on us, though, and we gave him the beatdown, so I realized that this strategy is probably going to work. He tries to consume it raw, which I still think is bad. I haven't realized that he can just eat raw things, and I also want him to tend himself, which he does. I found out he can also tend without medicine, something I don't actually realize he did until much later. He then goes and lays down to let his wounds heal, and he goes and butchers the rabbit, giving himself some more meals. So he lays down, letting his wounds heal because he has taken a little bit of damage and it takes time to heal up. It's at this point I realize there's a fine little turkey outside, which would make a perfect little snack, so I have him walk out there and go and give it the beat down with the club that we manufactured. We are able to take out this turkey with a little bit of a struggle. You're going to notice that we take a little bit more damage here, and it's going to take Blue a little bit more time to repair. But ultimately, he does give the turkey the beatdown and gets himself yet another meal. It takes me a bit to figure out how to actually get him to finish off the animal, and then he gets to go. Then he starts eating it raw, which is something that Blue apparently loves to do because he's ascetic. It doesn't really matter. It's just interesting, and he just leaves the corpse out there. I then go and try to get medicine because I haven't yet realized that Blue is just able to self-tend without medicine, and he botches the harvest, which makes me kind of panic. But then he just starts tending himself before I can make him harvest another medical plant. Now he's gonna go eat this turkey that he had left sitting outside all night for his little morning snack, before he goes and starts deconstructing the walls left inside of his house, making his house bigger and making it feel more like a home. This additional space is going to allow for some further expansion and some new activities to go on inside. He butchers the turkey, and I'm hoping that we can eventually make tribal wear so that he's no longer naked, but this requires us getting a lot of skin, and that's something that we just don't simply have. I find a raccoon, which is going to become our next victim. Drafting Blue and getting him nearby the raccoon so that he can get a hit on him, we find another ancient danger and then we go in for the kill. Smacking the raccoon once proves too much for the weak little raccoon to survive, and we prioritize hauling him back home. This shows that the club is really being useful for Blue and actually making the getting animals quite easy instead of quite difficult like it was before. We can do it in mere hours instead of years. Well, maybe minutes instead of hours, more realistically. Now Blue goes inside, and I have him prioritize hauling stuff inside so it doesn't deteriorate, and he decides it's time to just meditate. Sitting there and thinking about the things he has done and the things about the future. This is when a bulk trader comes in, and I decide to have a look at his wares. Maybe this is our opportunity to get clothes. Maybe this is an opportunity to get some riches. Or maybe not. We don't really have much to trade, unfortunately, so looking through his items, I start to realize just how poor I am. Starting with nothing means I have very little, and I haven't gotten very much. All the clothes are out of my budget. I decide to sell some of my things. This will allow me to get a little bit of money. I don't sell them just yet, however, though I rethought my decision. I need to be careful with what I buy and sell. Anything I get rid of is something I no longer have, and I don't have very much. We go to work on the house while I rethink of the fact that we don't actually need the bird skin at all, so I go and sell it. This will give us a little bit of silver, which we can use to hopefully trade up for clothes at some other point. Not right now, though. I reset up the stockpile inside the house because it's gotten completely destroyed and ruined somehow in the construction process. Repairing our house is just going to make it look nicer and make the walls be stronger, and he wants to get it done because he's set to construction, so we might as well get it done while we have time, so he'll auto-prioritize construction in the future. He goes and meditates, and I find out he's an acquaintance to one of the traders, only -10, however. And then Blue will go to bed. He's going to eat first, get a snack, and then he's going to haul and go to bed. Now it's day 7, and Blue wakes up and starts repairing his house before he goes and cuts plants to increase his plant level. This is good because that'll make growing plants a lot easier, and the visitors leave, leaving Blue to labor all alone in his nakedness and afraidness. He is surviving, but only barely. He's hungry always and always working, something that is hard and time-consuming, but all he has is time being all alone. He goes and decides to fight a turkey. This is going to get him some food, and it's also going to get him battered up. Battered and bruised and cut, but you only get stronger through pain and discipline, so doing this is the only way for Blue to better himself and better his situation. I need him to heal quickly as he will bleed out in only 19 hours, but now that he's healed himself, he's in no immediate danger and can haul the turkey back home. This turkey will give us more food and better our chances of survival. Every meal is another day you can keep going before you shut down entirely. But now he needs to lay down and let his wounds heal. Day 8 is about recovery, growing through Blue's pain and letting him develop as a person spiritually and non-spiritually. I also decided it's time to build a table and chair as I'm tired of Blue getting the debuff for eating without a table. This is an easy way to get his mood increased. And as he lays there in pain, I prioritize him to construct it. To my surprise, he actually constructs it as a normal quality. And then he throws this. Breaking the fabric of reality is not something I knew that Blue had the capabilities to do, and I feel like he could use this better to his advantage. He then goes back and lays down after destroying the fabric of reality entirely. This is when I realized you can build a bed without cloth, something I had not known before, and I quickly get Blue built his bed. I then assign the bed to him so that he can sleep in this nicer, newer, normal quality wooden bed instead of the sleeping spot he had been sleeping in before. I also expand the stockpile zone to take up the space his bed once did, and I start to look through Blue's stats, seeing how he's improving through the days. He's still laying there resting and recovering from the pain he suffered fighting this turkey, but this pain is important for his growth and development. It would also appear that the pain is too much for him to bear, going into his first mental break. This will lead to a clearing of mind and catharsis, however, but for the time being, he is hiding in his room. This is now day 9 as he wakes up early in the morning. We also get Kamarov, a crash survivor from space, and I realize they have paralytic abasia. This means that for 32 days they will do nothing but steal our resources, meaning that they're not worth taking. They also don't follow the same religion as us, but they have clothes, something I would later realize I can use to my advantage. But Blue, I can't do anything with him right now. We also get a cargo pod from space with masks, medical masks made of all different materials, so I sort through them to find which ones are the highest quality and worth the most money so that we can sell them at a later juncture. Everything is coming together right now. We're getting lucky, but this is only after Blue is unable to do anything, meaning all this new opportunity is left unused and unseen by Blue, who is still trapped inside his house, locked inside his own mind. Blue might be wasting time, but that doesn't mean I have to. I decide to look around the map and see the opportunities unfolding around us and what the situation looks like, what our future will look like trapped on this planet, this RimWorld, so to speak. I also make an unsettling discovery, looking at Kamarov and discovering something unsightly. I was mortified, and this led to a realization that Kamarov could not be a part of our colony whether I wanted them to or not. But that's alright. The neo-shaman religion they believe in sees eating humans as okay and normal, making a distance between my religion and theirs, a connection that I could not see eye to eye on, something they saw as perfectly normal, but I saw as a mortal horror. Blue was still panicking in his room, unable to know anything about his outside world as he lives in a box with no windows. I do, however, come up with a sneaky little strategy here. We could go take Kamarov's clothes, something I wouldn't realize had some adverse effects on the future of our colony. As I strip down Kamarov, I realize this gets rid of a lot of our reputation with our neighbors, our nearest settlement, someone who was once allied with us, now only neutral. I have a few tricks up my sleeve to get this reputation back, but a hit that big is something that I was not prepared to deal with. We also have no way to take Kamarov prisoners, so I just decided to give up on that idea entirely, as using her as a tool to get my reputation back. A Muffalo also self-tames, meaning I can turn it into a Muffa meal in the very short future. Blue goes back to sleep, sleeping off his injuries that he still has from days before. I decide to send him out to go slaughter that Muffalo, as it will give him a great source of nutrients, a great source of substance, and a way to keep going into the future. A Muffalo is actually a rather large meal, meaning he'll be able to live on it for maybe multiple days. But due to his starvation, he may need to eat a lot to build back up the deficit in calories he has been maintaining over a course of days. This also gives us a lot of leather that we can use to maybe construct things, though clothes are not a major priority anymore. I also have Blue wear a mask and haul some of the masks back. These would be hopefully a trading tool later, but if nothing else, they provide with a little bit more insulation against the weather for Blue to have, as well as another piece of clothing to provide a minor bit of protection against animal fights in the future. I also reset up the stockpile zone so that we will haul some of the stuff that is non-perishable outside so it doesn't take up room on our nice interior. I also look around for a little snack to try to build up the stockpile of food even higher, which I find a rat that suits the need perfectly and give him the old beat down, taking him out with ease. I then haul him back home, he butchers him, and then goes back to bed, thus ending day 10. Thanks for watching, and if you like this style of video, please like, comment, and subscribe as it means the world to me. These videos take a lot of work and I'm putting a lot of effort into them in my free time, so seeing some appreciation for them would really mean a lot to me. So, thanks for watching, and have a great day.